Okay, folks, now we're getting into the beef of the pyramid system, so to speak. I believe this was probably one of the third devices that Dr. Bell was given by the Pleiadians. And this is, in its entirety, is a scalar wave generator, kind of in the natural order. So let me take you down here. This is the base is what we call a mega orb, and you'll see I have a connector here to the top column. Now let me explain how this works. And unfortunately I do not have what are called small clusters, and ideally in the base of each of these pyramids we would have small clusters like you would see from the Coil mine. That's it looks like about as big as this or even bigger, and it has a bunch of small crystals coming out. And this is kind of the base of the irradiator column. And the next thing that we put in here is we go outside and we pick up rocks and stones from the environment of the house that I'm in, or the house that you're in, or the center, wherever you're putting this, so you have an Akashic record connection. So these crystals actually take 20 million years to grow. So the crystal contains information from the earth of all the vibrations and energies that have been taking place for 20 million years. So it has a memory to the geological history, the environment, and the entire planet. I believe the extraterrestrials have the ability to imprint memories or from certain areas through the crystals that you can actually play back, and we'll talk about that another time. But this crystal goes into the base of the pyramid, as I said, so it acts as an anchor and an interface for the system. I also mentioned that you take in stones from the nearby environment to act as a stabilizing force. Now, there are you can put lots of crystals in here. I apologize that I don't have that aspect here, but this all works in conjunction with these 7 pyramid. Remember again the 7. And if you zoom in here, you'll be able to see, or maybe down here, I'm touching a crystal. So each of these points contain a crystal. And at the top, if you zoom into the middle, you'll see those curly cues that go from this one and that one, and acts as kind of like a, let's call it a waveform generator. So you'll notice here we have electrical components, and this really amplifies this system unbelievably so. Many of you are familiar with what is known as the violet flame. This is an aspect of consciousness of the rays that you yourself can invoke into your body and consciousness through visualization and connecting to the masters and to the rays of wisdom. But there's also the aspect of Nikola Tesla's development. You've all seen the picture where Nikola Tesla's reading a book and he has one of those giant systems around here and lightning's going everywhere. It's pretty familiar. If you think of one of those little like balls that you touch, you can see it coming out, kind of comes out like there's a little post in there with a circle on top, and it comes out and it kind of makes waves. You touch it, it's kind of like a kid's toy. So that's the violet flame. Now this actually is connected to this black box right over here. That is called a floating ground Tesla coil. If we push that button, which I'm going to do just for a second, it turns on, and I can move the rheostat, and you're probably hearing a clicking sound because it will interfere with the energy. But what happens is this device connected to another device. Okay? Now, you look at the crystals here for just a second. That device could also be connected. Now we go back over here to the MIDI Fire Star. That could be connected. We have Imagine crystals, stones from around. You see the whole system here. And what you should know is that when you talk about ascension and the vibration of who you are and how your body works with ascension, the ideal of ascension is to bring in the molecular atoms from the higher planes into your physical body, so that you contain so much light and so much frequency from a higher dimension that your lessons are kind of learned here. And there's those who want to spend a lifetime and just get it done, and there's those who want to take it slow. You don't have to like focus on ascension. You want to raise your vibration at the level you're comfortable with, and your body will transform. Your consciousness will transform. The planet will transform as these vibrations lift around us. So the pyramid that we have here, hold on, stay there. So the pyramid that we have has the higher vibrations here, which is called the logoic. We have the atmic. We have the causal. We have the higher mental plane, the lower mental plane, the astral plane, and the physical plane. So again, the 7 levels of consciousness, the 7 colors of the rainbow, the 7 notes of the musical scale, the 7 endocrine glands, the 7 chakras. In the Bible, we have the 7 spirits before the throne. Things move in this natural order of 7. And all numbers have colors. Here we have the 1. And then in manifestation, it's called the Trinity or the 3. Because first you had the all is one, the nature of Advanta, or that we're all connected in all time and space throughout all dimensions. And there's only the living present moment, the now. And then you have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So you have this Trinity here. And this represents kind of like an aspect of understanding creation. There's the one. And the minute that the one became 2, or the mother and the father started their manifestation and coming back on each other, you have a relationship. So you have 1 and then you have 2. But actually, the moment you have 2, you have 3, because there's a relationship between them. So there's kind of this metaphysical, spiritual, interesting way of looking at things when we're dealing with sacred geometry and the system. So when you have a scalar wave, what are you propagating out? Generally speaking, with the pyramids, you're propagating all 7 levels of balanced life force out into the ethers, that when in a system like this can provide a tremendous amount of energy. For those of you who are familiar with the Integratron and George Van Tassel, the idea of cellular rejuvenation that was given to him by the Venusians incorporated this sepentary or 7-fold energetic process, which utilized very strong negative ionized fields. What is a Tesla coil? A floating ground we're providing negative ions. Now, you've seen air purifiers that have negative ions. Well, they're good, but unless you have gold, you're not producing prana. They can clean the air, but you want the life force power. The secret to negative ionization is to have a gold molecule tip emitter. Well, imagine this. This negative ion Tesla coil is generating probably, I like to think, 50 to 60 kV. And this entire irradiator column, when I turn it on, if I'm to touch that, I could show you a spark of the violet flame between this and my body. And I'll do that in the end here to show you how the violet flame works. I'm doing it to that pyramid column. I could do it to the crystals that I created. And I could do it up here to the MIDI fire star. And I'm going to have my, you're going to stay on me, but I'm going to have you get me the other device that I have that has a red wire on it. The big pyramid. Yeah, so we're going to see that, and that's called the ion shower. It's sitting on the ground over there, and we're going to bring it into your view here. But and this device actually is kind of a standalone. So you look at this. So you imagine this connected to this device. I mean, you want to get crazy, you could get 3 of these boxes and put this all around your house, but literally you could connect this up in your house, in your meditation room, and this again hangs from the ceiling so it's not touching, and this would connect directly into that box. And you'll notice here we have a crystal bloom, and we can custom make this with amethyst, and this bloom could be bigger. And on the bottom you'll see what we call a cosmic doubloon, or a disc made from the nuclear receptor, and in the middle we have a emitter needle, a point. So this actually is something that you can put over your meditation space. This is a single product alone. You plug it in and the violet flame rains down on you. Your hair can feel it, your body can feel it, and this will transmute a lot of toxins in your body. You have to be prepared when you spend a lot of time in these systems. Some people become very uncomfortable in a room full of crystals because it has a purification and a high energy vibration. I'm not going to go too deep into the other some of the things about crystals as being consciousness beings and how they work with you in feedback to raise your vibration. But I think for those of you who start to work with crystals, and especially in these advanced systems that I'm sharing with you, this makes it so, do I feel the crystal? I don't. When you start amplifying the violet flame at 65 kV with crystals in the base and the attending toys I'm going to share with you, you can create a tremendously powerful scalar field that has a great deal of balance. So when we want to send information out, what do? Let's say I had 7 of these columns surrounding me, and I went in here and I had 7, we're still charged from the turning it on, but I have 7 of these nuclear receptors hanging in this system. So now around me I have pink, yellow, ruby, diamond, sapphire, orange citrine. I have the 7 colors of the rainbow in this device, which I would hang from about here, radiating different frequencies. So if you could imagine, if you were looking from the top, and this picture is on my website, you could see the top of a system. If this was charged, the diamond frequency would be very small waves. Boom, 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 and it creates a trapezoidal wave. This energy kind of comes out and comes together again. It reaches a nodal point based on the frequency. And a diamond frequency would have very short, high frequency nodal points. A sapphire would be a little closer. A ruby, they have different frequencies. When you get into the other frequencies, the nodal points of the crossing of these frequencies would be farther out. So you have the ability to irradiate the pure intelligence of the mineral kingdom into a field that can work with your body in a feedback mechanism. And again, these shapes have various informational exchanges with your body. But let's talk about this. This is actually one of Judy Beebe's gem spheres. This is a scalar field energy, and this has been proven to have had a spike of 6 to 12 kilojoules when left in office. And at this point in time, they do not know how to receive the energy, but it's like a wireless free energy device is what our belief is. And Judy Beebe met Valiant Thor when she was a young girl. Lots of good information. So we put this in here. Okay? I've got emeralds. I could put emeralds in there. You don't need to have, 7 of these. You could put the pure stone in there. There's so many different things. You could put rubies or fire agates, depending on your knowledge of the crystalline frequencies, the endocrine glands, the acupressure meridians, the organs that those meridians feed in relationship to the chakra where it goes. And there's a path of order for that. So I'm revealing a lot of information or food for thought for you alchemical transmuters, you people who are practicing high-end consciousness development and to tuning into the rays and the masters. Now, this is not all just you do it, you can have the good information, but with your intelligent reflection, there's an interaction process that I'm going to reveal in another series of videos when I have a full system up and people can understand how this works. But in the meantime, you can work with crystals and lasers and put information in here. And I'm going to share with you another thing. Let's get out the purple razor and we're going to share how this might work. Could you grab the purple laser and get that ready for us? And we're going to kind of give you a little taste of how this energy works. And I'm not sure, unfortunately, my laser situation here is, you can go nuts with lasers, folks. You can get 10 or 12 lasers or $3,000 worth of lasers. I could create a photonic field of multiple colors that is so powerful and so beautiful that basically your body just bathes in the natural energies. So the idea here is for you guys to begin to learn how to utilize lasers and crystals. And I think we're going to turn out the lights and kind of give you an idea. Oh, go ahead, hit that baby. So we have a pink tourmaline being hit by a purple laser. I generally sell red, blue, and green lasers because those are the primary colors. And I'm not want to get into lasers, they're very expensive, but lasers are very powerful when used in this fashion. So in Dr. Bell's house and in any system that I create lasers that not only hit this crystal over here, in here, shoot the laser right at that crystal. So this laser maybe is being hit by a yellow light. I have various lasers shooting and playing across this one here. And then I would have this in here too. Can you hit? Yeah, you can't really see it, but when we turn the lights out, this would create a multicolored thing that would bathe your body in positive healing scalar energy. And I'm not quite going to release all the secrets yet. We're going to get some information going here, but this combines with sound. And the next part of my tutorial that we're going to share with you is we're going to show how all of this can be used in a healing system on individuals. And we're going to utilize the violet flame, the Sintamani stone, crystals, tachyonized crystals, lasers, and music in a combination that is one of the more advanced healing chambers that we can have right now on the planet. There are higher technologies that the extraterrestrials use that are very similar to this, but they have a ability to generate a tremendous fields with their technology. And I have certain inklings Dr. Bell shared with me on how to do that, but I'm not the scientific computer genius to make that happen. But I'll give you a little hint. I put my hand on an aura plate. It reads my body, my frequencies, and every organ has an optimum frequency that it should be running at. And that's at the strongest point of your own personal DNA. And I don't want to get into a discussion on DNA unwinding and stuff, but the idea is it reads your aura, it finds out what you need, and it gives you the perfect frequency of sound, light, and color modulated through the intelligence of the crystal frequency that corresponds to that, and bathes you in a scalar field of photonic energy of light that's basically not so complicated. I'll say that the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid, that tub in there, was used to create free energy, and it also was used as initiation. There was a pH balanced water of 5.5. The initiate would be there, and there was a device like the Venusians and the extraterrestrials and the Pleiadians use that was placed over your body. They would read your aura, and keytones of light, color, and sound for your specific soul frequency would release and lift your vibration and be part of an initiation process to connect with your monad and to bring in balanced energies. And this was and is still done in various retreats of the Great White Brotherhood around the world in the final phase of initiation, but is only done after a tremendous amount of soul and personality development is able to be prepared and ready to anchor in those higher frequencies which correspond to positive choices and, let's call them, ethical and spiritual and moral integrities: honesty, loyalty, perseverance, continence, balance, courage, temperance, charity, faith, and I'm probably missing one or two, but those frequencies and realities, if you've anchored those aspects into yourself, you gather more light and you become ready for more and more information and teaching, which is available to everyone, and that's what this technology is about. Another thing that this technology was used for, and this is the beef of the system, so I'm sharing this, but the idea is this system is created, and with people of like-minded focus and intention and the power of thought, prayer, and visualization over time, this is an amplifier of your manifestation. Everyone knows about the secret, and the secret is your thoughts are things, and that your vibrational waveforms go out and return unto you in the purity and the level you do it. And you can say, oh, I know the secret. I want to become an ascended master. I want to become an ascended master. That's great. But if you only do it for 2 seconds, and the rest of the time you're frustrated, usually in traffic, or you're angry, or you're short, or you're impatient, and you have deeper intentions and feelings, those feelings come back to you. So one of the secrets is control your thoughts, your feelings. They must be aligned together. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, for a positive thing over time, bring and manifest to you what you deserve. Man is the sum total of many different factors. The genetics of your parents influence you. Magnetic conditions at time of conception. Your parents conceived you in Australia, and you were born in San Francisco. The magnetic conditions at time of birth set up a genetic and a kind of a core frequency. Then you have nature of environment. Okay, you have a high vibration, you have a good soul, but you're born near the love canal, and those things affect your health, your frequencies, things of that nature. You also have nature, that's nature of environment. Then you have liquids and foods digested. If you're eating bad toxic foods, which we all are due to the genetically altering of foods, Monsanto, whatever you want to look at, vaccinations, the elf waves from your frequency, vaccinations, television mind control, programming, the negative things are endless, but we have to focus in and use our awareness and attention to focus on the living Word of God. We are the Word. We have a flame of life that is part of who we are. So the number one modulator of who you are and what you are your thoughts. So realize all those different things play into your life and genetics. So when you're young and healthy, everything's good, but you may have had a genetic predisposition and being near the love canal, all of a sudden you're not so healthy as you were. And all of this can be overcome by connection to the divine within yourself and the living Word of God, the spiritual Christ consciousness, the I Am presence. And one of the secrets of that is entering into the silence. And we'll go into that one in another video. But I just wanted to share with you this technology and let you know that it's more advanced than it looks. It's pretty simple, but we're using sacred geometry, we're using crystals, we're utilizing the violet flame of Tesla coils, and we're using the sound of toning frequencies, and also of music and color through the lasers and the frequencies. So I hope you've enjoyed this pretty long-winded description here, but it's complicated, and I want to give you guys enough information so that you can start to utilize this on your own. You know, this isn't just about making money and selling products for me. This is about sharing this information of the law of correspondences, the passive order, and the innate nature of nature itself, ability to heal. We're using natural minerals and steel, gold, copper, and basic elements of nature. So I want to thank you for listening to me. I hope I haven't bored you here. And love and light, Victor to the light from here in Mount Shasta, California. And we'll be sharing some more stuff on my other videos. Thank you very much.